Cade loves hoops, and he goes out there and he does it night in and night out, and that's really like what fuels what's turning into greatness, and it's really dope to see.
What's up, y'all? We still in the Bay. We have the Verified Podcast live in Shinola with the Detroit Pistons, and we are here with the founders of Bristol Studio, 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 and Jake. What's good, y'all?
Yes, sir. Chilling, man. Thanks for having us.
Oh, of course, man. How y'all feeling? How the Bay been treating you?
Honestly, it's been very pleasant.
We've just been going from event to event, just trying to make the most of the weekend. So
yeah, for sure. Good. I mean, I know that y'all work with the NBA, so this is not a surprise to y'all this weekend. Yeah. But y'all are always like cultivating greatness with everything that y'all do.
Thank you.
How did y'all start Bristol, and how did that come to be?
It came together really. You know, we went to middle school together. And like, obviously being young hoopers, you know, basketball was our way into culture. It was our way into music. It was our way into our best friends, our family. And when we got done playing, you know, we realized we weren't going to the league. And, you know, Bristol really was born. Yeah, right. Some earlier than others. Some of our friends did, but Bristol was really created and born out of a way to like stay connected to the game. And to really create something that speaks to the game in a way that our relationship was like, it was more artistic, very elevated. And at the time, you know, back in like the 2013, around that time, it was more performance driven, like in the market is what we would see. And we wanted to create something that was more elevated, that could sit in that fashion space and really speak to what we felt the game was, which was high quality. The most creative we ever are is when we're on the court. And we wanted to create something that translates.
Really born from that nostalgic feeling of like the early 2000s era of basketball. You know, we grew up with like AI as our idol, Kobe, you know, all those guys, and wearing the baggy fits and everything, which has now come back. But that was really kind of when we started. It was, you know, recreating those classic silhouettes, elevating them, using kind of, you know, untraditional materials, and really, you know, recreating the fits that we loved and grew up idolizing.
Yeah, and starting a brand isn't easy. It's a lot of legwork. It's a lot of finding factories, writing products, washing, sampling. Like, what was it like early on? Because y'all stuff is immaculate now. Y'all got partnerships.
I mean, it's years. It took years. A lot of our styles literally took years to perfect. I mean, the first couple of years was literally just going to every factory in LA, figuring it out, like who's even willing to make the stuff. Like our reversible sweatsuit, you know, that like in total was like at least 5 years to actually perfect.
That one's 10 to 15 pattern pieces, where your traditional sweatsuits like 4 to 6, right? So most factories were just turning us away at the door.
But the reason is like we use our design and our styles as storytelling pieces. You know, we're not just making a hoodie to make a hoodie. We're not just making a jacket to make a jacket. Like, this is fully reversible, and it's rooted in, like, you know, when we were kids, we would wear everything inside out. We actually thought that looked cool, but there wasn't an elevated version of that in the market. So we created it, and a lot of the factories were like, nah, like it's doing twice the work for one piece of garment. But we found one that was willing, and we just kept building from there.
So on the road, how did y'all deal with the no's? Like, I mean, I think at the end of the day, when you start a brand, you have to have a vision. You have to have a reason, a purpose. Like you can have an idea, but if you don't have that core mission, then the no is going to stop you quick. You know, for us, like having that, we knew what we wanted to create and how we wanted to create it. And you're going to get a lot of no's along that road. And we just use those as motivation, honestly. We just constantly find ourselves like, if we get a no, we're going to continue to push to kind of show why that should have been a yes. And we don't take it any type of way. We just take it as a challenge to ourselves.
Exactly.
And I feel like that just comes from like competitive nature of playing basketball and sports over time, like getting cut from a team, you hear a no and you locking back in.
And I think entrepreneurship, it kind of requires that. Like you have to be a little delusional, and you have to be a little stubborn, as long as you have a vision.
For sure.
And I mean, basketball in particular, it really shaped us, because we both had like untraditional basketball experiences. Like me, I was always a defender. Like I prided myself on defense. That's not like normal, you know, like that's not popular really. But I actually like that grind. And like Jake was like, he had to play 5.
I played center, I was guarding 7-footers. I was fighting my life.
So like
you're 6'3".
I played center, man.
Yeah, literally.
I feel you.
I figured it out. I mean, it wasn't fun, but like someone had to do it. You know, you find on a team or in these positions, like you figure out what you need to do to get the job done.
100%. And y'all are hoopers yourselves, and we got an all-star on our team. Sent to all-star game, 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪. What do y'all like about his game, and like what do y'all see in his game?
I like that he has like the killer instinct in him. Like he doesn't have to say much. he will say it when it comes out, but he is one of those people that you can tell is a killer, and actually loves the game. A lot of these guys, which is funny because we've always, as a brand, we've always like championed a certain style of basketball, which is why, you know, we love guys like Chris Middleton. We love guys like who just love hoops. Like they just, exactly. And that's what it is. It's like Cade loves hoops. And he goes out there and he does it night in and night out. And that's really like what fuels what's turning into greatness. And it's really dope to see.
Yeah, kind of similar. I mean, for me, I just love the way he plays the position. Like he's a power forward, but he's also a point guard. Like it's this kind of hybrid creation that like his game can't really be contained. And it's cool because, you know, we grew up in the era in the early 2000s and 2010s playing basketball. I played center, but it was get to the elbow, shoot the shot if you're wide open, get a rebound, put back, or pass the ball. And to see this era that like, you know, they're creating and Cade's creating where positionless basketball as the game was created and intended to be played, he's the perfect example.
Because the game is like water. It's fluid now.
It's fluid.
It's positionless. Everybody's moving and rotating and popping in here and popping there. So the game is, we're not in the dead ball era no more. Like everybody's shooting threes. Everybody's running down the court. And Cade being a 6'7"
it's crazy.
Point guard is
crazy.
It's crazy. Now, and talking about the Pistons in the NBA, you had a partnership and a collab with the NBA. How did that come about?
Honestly, from years of being around and continuing to like be that voice in pioneering this basketball lifestyle space, really bridging the gap between the culture and fashion and music and basketball and sport, bringing those things together. The NBA, you know, we have a lot of relationships. It's a small industry, and they finally one day, you know, reached out and wanted to connect, and we started having that conversation, and it was like, what could that look like? And we were able to launch that collection with 7 different franchises in, what was that, October?
October and November. There was a limited release, and then it went wide. But, you know, going on the heels of that, again, to echo its relationships, you know, it was the work that we put in to establish ourselves, because no one's going to give you that title. No one's like, oh, you're a basketball lifestyle brand. That's cool.
Like,
there's 10,000 basketball lifestyle
people are like,
brands.
you know, they're going to name the big dogs and be like, all right, cool, whatever that is. And so for us, it was establishing that and building genuine relationships over those years where people, you know, in the league,
connect the dots themselves.
They saw what we were doing. We didn't have to explain it. And so by the time we put 2 and 2 together, you know, they championed us. They brought us into those rooms.
It's like
we had something to say.
I mean, timing.
The NBA and like 2K, like being in 2K24, 2K25, like those were on our vision board for years. And we had homies who had brands, we see them in the game and we're like, damn, that's so dope.
Like, we gotta get there.
And then it's funny because when we started having these conversations with the league and with 2K, they were like, how have we not done this sooner? And we're like, we just been grinding. Like we were ready for the opportunity. So when it came, you know, it was like there was emotional moments where we had to sit down and be like, we're in 2K, like we're partnering with the NBA. Like that doesn't just happen to anybody. And so, you know, we have to take time to sit, because we do everything. So we've been trying to be more mindful about having moments of like appreciating the journey and how far we've come, and keeping the vision clear and how far we want to go. But it's important to like celebrate your wins. At least, you know, go to dinner and like talk about it. You know? So,
and if you really think about it, you made it in the league without being in the league. It's crazy. Like you're in the NBA.
That's something we talk about a lot. And, you know, one of the things that we do beyond clothing and content and storytelling is we have our community, our Bristol run community. And that's something that we've always felt, you know, proud of, was that story. And that's a story that we try to create with others and create opportunity where, you know, we break down those walls and show people like basketball may not lead you to the NBA. Hopefully it will. But if it doesn't, it's okay. You can still stay close to the game. You can create product that you love. You can find your way onto NBA courts, 100%. NBA stores, working with NBA players and partners. So just changing that narrative has kind of been something that we've always set out to do.
And that's a story for all athletes. Like basketball leads to more than just on the court. Like
exactly. And now more than ever. Like more than ever now. And that's why we're so particularly proud of what we've built, is because it's like, it is that. It was born in that. It was like kids who love hoops and want to go to the league, but finding a way to stay true to who we are and what we do and the message we're telling, without letting that get distorted. Because sometimes people feel like you have to play the game a certain way in order to get into certain positions. But it may take, I mean, like I said, we're over a decade plus in now, and just now getting, you know, these with partnerships with the league and with 2K, and I wouldn't change a thing, because, you know, that 10 years is what prepared us for this, you know, and it's a long road, but we're excited about the next 50 years.
Right, and I feel like that's important because if you blow up too fast and you're not ready for it, like you see it all the time, like a brand will blow up real fast and somebody will wear it and it'll be on everybody for like 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
But then once that person stops wearing the brand or it's not around, it's like you don't hear from that brand ever.
Well, because
again,
people, and by the way, those moments can be great. You just have to have a why, like a why you exist. And I think actually the pandemic was a blessing for us because we closed our web store for 8 months and really just did a deep dive on
not the best business decision.
Yeah, not the best business decision, but again, we made mistakes along the way and learned. But the biggest takeaway from that was we took the time to like figure out our identity and our why. Why are we here? Why are we creating and adding to more things in the world? And that's when, you know, the storytelling became even more prevalent and we realized like it's because basketball is a tool at the end of the day. It's a tool to freedom in a lot of different ways. And, you know, like Jake, he can elaborate more on, he actually, for years, he went to NYU and he had a professor named David Hollander. And he was like, yo, like, you guys gotta meet my professor. Like, he's amazing. We were like, all right. We finally met him. And now, you know, he is actually a part of our brand and helped us launch some amazing initiatives like World Basketball Day. He's the founder of.
Talk to us about World Basketball.
Yeah, so backstory on that is I went to NYU. David Hollander was my professor, and when I was in school 10 years ago, he introduced me to all these amazing concepts outside of the court, right? And one of them being, you know, this Church of Basketball in Italy that he got the Vatican to recognize as the patron saint of basketball, and that led him to World Basketball Day, where he got the UN to recognize World Basketball Day as a global holiday. On December 21st of every year going forward.
On December 21st?
December 21st, it's officially World Basketball Day.
So it's like you want people to get out, go hoop.
Get out, go
exactly.
Connect over hoop, watch hoop, talk hoop, whatever it is. Just that's a day to celebrate.
Yo, getting the UN though, that's wild.
I mean, it's an official international holiday for the rest of time.
Is it on our Google Calendar now?
It should be.
Oh no, I gotta go check after this.
It should be. But that's the thing is like that's a perfect example of like the way basketball can impact more than just like an entertainment. Like we're actually using it as a tool to spread the message. We made a documentary about World Basketball Day with Dave. We were at the UN filming when they announced it and when it became a thing. So we held the first ever Diplomats run. We did a Bristol run with diplomats from all over the world. And now that's what it's about. It's about.
Oh, now me thinking diplomats like Joel Santana. I'm like, diplomats. Joel's and them pulled up. I was like, oh shoot.
Like literally diplomats from all over the world. Like, you know, they represent their countries and they're playing together at the YMCA in New York. Like that's what it's all about. And, you know, for us to have a brand that can be at the forefront of that and still be, you know, expressing ourselves through design, through product, through these types of partnerships, through these conversations.
And we know that y'all been doing World Basketball Day and the Pistons did something. Were you guys able to see that?
Yeah, no, I did. Honestly, I saw it organically because we have relationships with the team, but it was something that just came across my feed, and I thought the way that they involved people in their own community, in each culture, and really celebrated and highlighted like what makes them unique was really an awesome way to activate on World Basketball Day. I think you know it was really the first time that anybody recognized World Basketball Day in a real way, and I thought what the Pistons did was really unique and special and something that I think will lead all other teams in the future. So
you know, and the beautiful thing is they can do it every year and like continue to build from it every year going forward. And I'm sure other teams will see that it's so dope and start to follow suit. And that's what we want. That's the whole point. You know, we're living a dream for sure. And like, you know, our visions are big and our dreams are even bigger, but you know, at least we can see the progress like slowly along the way.
And I've been seeing it grow and unfold, man. And it's been great to see. Thank y'all so much for coming on, man.
Appreciate you for having us.
If you don't mind, let the people know where they can find y'all at.
So you can find us at Bristol Studio on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Actually, we're posting a lot on Snapchat now. We're starting to go behind the scenes there, show people like what it's like,
what it really looks like
running a brand, you know, the real behind the curtains look. So that's right now it's the Bristol Snap, but we're trying to get that changed to Bristol Studio.
And our product's available at bristol-studio.com.
Yo, thank y'all so much for coming. I appreciate y'all, man.
Appreciate it.
Have a good All-Star weekend.